G'day guys and welcome to Raging Rhino. As you've probably heard by now, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is very quickly becoming one of the biggest bombs in Hollywood's history. If not Hollywood, at least Walt Disney, at least Disney's history. This is becoming one of the biggest disasters of all time. Now, if you don't know, and if you haven't seen this yet, of course, it's been out for 10 days now, so we've just got to the end of its second weekend, and in its opening weekend, it only made $60 million. Now, of course, $60 million is nothing to throw away, nothing to clap at, but when you've got a budget of over $300 million, it's very, very telling in regards to how much money this has actually made. So after 10 days, worldwide, we're only sitting just under $250 million. Now, based on the calculations and what I keep hearing, this movie has to make probably around the $850 to $900 million to at least break even. And it doesn't even look like it's going to get maybe $400 or $500 million, to be honest. And of course, with Mission Impossible just around the corner, it's going to bomb even further. Like, everybody's going to go and see that movie, and based on the word of mouth that this movie is getting, no one's going to see it. So far domestically, it's made $121 million. Internationally, it's made $126 million. And of course, the total is just under that $250 million mark. And it doesn't look like it looks like it's got no legs. This movie is going to bomb very hard for Disney, very hard for Hollywood. Now, this news is probably nothing new to a lot of people out there that are actually paying attention, because there's a lot of people covering this. There's a lot of people doing a lot of different videos showing this box office and, of course, showing the disaster that Indiana Jones has been. But there's a couple of things that I think is very interesting. We had this little video come out from Harrison Ford. And this really, like, a lot of people have been talking about this, how he's trying to do a Tom Cruise thing and thanking the fans. Now, this comes across as really weak to me because this isn't the Harrison Ford that we know. The Harrison Ford that we know really doesn't care too much about the fans. I know he likes Indiana Jones more than he likes the character of Han Solo. And of course, you definitely see that in some of the clips that we've seen over the years that he's been in these roles. And how he reacts with fans and people talking about these certain IPs. However, this came out and a lot of people were saying, like, it's too little too late. Tom Cruise comes out and thanks the fans before the movie even comes out and says, we'll see you in the theater. And he's really energized by what he's actually doing and he's loving what he's doing. You see that in Tom Cruise. Whereas in this, my question is, how much did they have to pay you, Harrison, to do this little clip, do this little video, thanking the fans and saying, come and see my movie in theaters. And they're probably doing this so much because it's bombing so damn hard. So let's quickly take a listen to this.
For more than 40 years, I've been honored to be your Indiana Jones. Every moment of this adventure has been made for you, the fans. And it's been one of the greatest joys of my career. Thank you for welcoming the man with the hat into your lives for generations.
This is the thing, he says for generations, but it's not really like generations. Like the Indiana Jones films, the original trilogy, they're probably really the only Indiana Jones movie. I mean, Crystal Skull was pretty bad, but I will say Dial of Destiny makes Crystal Skull like better. It really does, and Crystal Skull isn't that good.
It's meant the world to me to share Indy with all of you. As always, I'll see you at the movies, unless there are snakes, of course.
So look, again, this just comes across as too little too late. They got a special message from Harrison Ford and thanking the fans and please come out and see my movie. And again, this is all too little too late. They've noticed the problem. They saw that Tom Cruise did this thank you messages and everything to all his fans and, you know, the people that like Top Gun Maverick and the people that like Mission Impossible. And they came out in droves and saw those movies. But the difference is those movies were done well, written well. Now, I'm not saying Top Gun Maverick is the best movie of all time, but it did the nostalgia really well. It told a good story, and it didn't have woke elements. It didn't have the bullshit like with Phoebe Waller-Bridge in this movie, for example, and how insufferable she is as a character, and how much she puts down essentially the hero of the franchise, Indiana Jones, consistently. Now, I also want to point out, this message on Twitter came out on the 8th of July, 2 days ago. This article, also from Bounding Into Comics, came out on the 8th of July, and we've got James Mangold derides fans as divisive for not liking his deconstruction of Indiana Jones in the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's funny how you make the star of Indiana Jones himself, Harrison Ford, come out and say this message to all of the fans. Thank you for allowing the man with the hat, allowing Indiana Jones to be a part of your lives for generations and generations. And then you get the director of the film coming out and saying, oh, you're all the fans out there are being really divisive about my deconstruction of Indiana Jones. Now, I'm sure he didn't use the words deconstructive. I'm sure he used more words like my take or my evolution of the character. And the reason why I say that is because if we just scroll down here and go to one of the quotes, it says here, he said, so if people want to be divisive in the age of social media, they can focus on where the character started opposed to where they end. Or they can focus on where they end as opposed to where they start. In reality, for Harrison, who's playing this character, he's tracing an arc and he's changing through the whole picture. So it all depends on where you're landing and where you're pointing your finger on the timeline. Now, look, this is the thing. In this movie, Indiana Jones really doesn't have an arc. They try and give him an arc by, removing his wife and removing his family, and then, of course, at the end of it, sort of reuniting that. But in all honesty, this is Indiana Jones, once again, in name only. That seems to be all Lucasfilm can do, is do Indiana Jones in name only, do Star Wars in name only. They don't look at the character and where the character ended. Well, they do, but they completely destroy it, right? And that's not what people want to see. They don't want to see Phoebe Waller-Bridge putting Indiana Jones in his place and basically getting him killed nearly 3 or 4 times throughout the movie. I've seen the movie. I think that this is a complete abomination of Indiana Jones, just like with what Disney Lucasfilm do with Star Wars. All Disney Lucasfilm Star Wars is a complete abomination of Star Wars. And this is a complete abomination of Indiana Jones. But I did think it was funny that this article comes out on the exact same day that Harrison Ford comes out with his little message thanking the fans. James Mangold says one thing, Harrison Ford says another thing, and what are we supposed to take from this? Honestly, Harrison, how much did they have to pay you to be nice to the fans for once and thank them and all of this kind of thing? And was it all because of how much this movie is bombing at the box office with only 247 million, nearly 248 million in 10 days with Mission Impossible just around the corner? This movie isn't even going to get close to breaking even. This movie is dead in the water. And we're 10 days into its release. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.